It's time for the young against the veteran in this best of 3 series here on Hardwire, one of the mods from Team Liquid mod contest. Here at the bottom left hand corner, hailing from France, from Team Liquid, it is Clem. His opponent in the blue, the veteran Zerg player, and from Korea, it is DRG. It's really so interesting to see these new tournaments starting to implement some of the Team Liquid map contest maps. Not all of them make it into the ladder sooner rather than later, but it's still very interesting. Like, some of them are pretty unique, which is not the case for this particular map, which is very standard, very well done as well. Really reminds me of some of the older maps, but this is not necessarily a bad thing. Actually, it's a very good thing in my book. It just makes for a solid map, and solid maps are kind of everything we need, don't we? Standard opener on both sides, probably gonna be a Reaper first, just to confirm what DRG is doing. DRG, very well known to be one of the players who can pull out some aggressive strats in the beginning of the game. So, better safe than sorry. And Clem will make sure that nothing too aggressive is coming on his side of the map. Beautiful effects over here. Didn't even know the game had such effects. Clem double confirming with an SCV scout as well. Maybe try to get a timing out of this hatchery and maybe out of the third base as well, coming from DRG in a bit. Since we see a clash opener, it's probably gonna be right about now, 27 supply. It's basically when you want to drop down your third hatchery, delaying your speed by something like 30 seconds. But having a base much earlier, able to pump out Zerglings and drones much faster. And honestly, this kind of opener has kind of become the standard. Just, it's too solid. There's really no downside to doing that. Clem will try to go for the tumor, but the Reaper will have to withdraw with just 9 health points remaining. While you can see speed slightly delayed, nothing other player can play with in the early game. Ooh, Carrack. Didn't see one in a while. DRG safe on his side of the map. Clem, content with the scouting, will go for the Hellion kind of timing. Well, not timing, just harassment. And with a 1-1-1 opener, he will stay flexible to all available options without truly committing into anything so far. It's a Liberator as well, probably gonna see the 6 Hellions kind of harassment, just to make sure some amount of damage is dealt to DRG, which I honestly pretty much like better than its counterpart with the Viking trying to gain map control and stop the overlords from getting scouting. That's not really too much to hide. No real reason to get a Viking, and Banshees are kind of hit or miss. So you can see 2 more Aliens incoming, bringing the total count to 6. The first 4 and the Reaper will fail to get into that mineral line. Here comes the next 2. The Liberator is out as well, trying to path towards the northern side of the map without being scouted by these overlords. 6 aliens will desperately try to get in, but there's a lot of choke points here in which those queens can safely protect the mineral lines. One overlord on the left will scout the Liberator incoming, and 2 queens are already on the lookout with a Spore Crawler in the making. Spore Crawler in the next row 2 with 1 queen defending its drones. This location is nothing too scary for DRG, but the Hellions have arrived into the middle line. One drone will immediately fall, and second one will follow. Third one as well. The Sport Caller trying to move into position to show away the Liberator. Clem really trying his best to get into the defenses of DRG, but this guy's too solid at defending in the early game. They're halfway through. Baneling Nest barely started just to get that juicy Baneling speed ASAP. With Clem getting his bio upgrades as well. Clem did keep all of his aliens alive, which is something useful for the later stages, in which he can get some damage while his opponent is not looking, maybe on 4 bases, who knows. He wants to trade them, but of course he doesn't just want to sacrifice them to the Queens. That will make absolutely no point. Waiting for the Medivacs to show up probably, to try and hit in 2 different spots at a time. It's a lot of aliens right now. It's I think 8, yes it's 8. I do know how to count, guys, I swear. Oh, the Queens will stop these aliens from getting over there. One thing that these aliens are clearly doing well is stopping DRG from getting too much creep. Oh, a little bit of a lane run by. We'll get into these third base because a little bit of a ruckus. Overload will fall down to the Marines, but overall, the real play from DRG is yet to be revealed. With a Spire halfway through and lots of lanes and main lanes on the ground. Gonna look for that classical build. Clem really trying to keep DRG on its footsteps. I don't even know if that sentence made sense, but anyway, he's trying to keep him on his own side of the map. Which is honestly something he's managing pretty well. With a lot of Elbots, it's gonna be pretty tough to break into this army of Clem and get onto the Medivacs and the Marines as well. Beautiful splits as well to preempt these Banelings from getting good connections. Baneling speed just finished. Oh, and that's a lot of Banelings rolling by. The Hellbats are basically done for. Widow Mines will not get the beautiful shots we expect out of Clem. But the Terran player is already unloading his Medivacs into the main with DRG ready to greet him with lots and lots of lanes. Meanwhile, the Liberator in behind the Natural will start to get something. The Queen will fall down actually, Spurkler already moving into position. Liberator would probably fall down. One Queen pops out to save her comrade. Oh, the Liberator did indeed fall, but not after another Medivac drop. Got 4 more drones. Oh, and the Queens may have overstepped over here. It's a lot of damage incoming from Clem, but finally the mutas are out. And DRG might get something back out of this. Another Widowmine shot will not get much. And now the Medivacs are forced to retreat. Not before these mutas are trying to get as many Marines as possible. And everything on the side of Clem will be cleared. This Widowmine over here causing a little bit of trouble to DRG will be indeed cleared at last. More and more mutas incoming for DRG. But honestly, +1 air attack. Ready to kick in to start making some aggressive trades and not just staying on the back foot for defense. Then Widowmine never got to get a shot. Beautiful, these Baneling hits. Really hitting jackpot. Another Widowmine will fall. And Clem really struggling to find damage. DRG right now on 90 workers, Infestation Beat and Hydra Den incoming. The upgrades are not really anything to... I don't know how to say, like, they're not crazy, right? It's just 1-1-1 incoming, halfway through on all 3 sides. But DRG has so far done a marvelous job at keeping Clem low on his army count. Like, right now, DRG even exceeding the army count of his opponent. First story is out, though. So these mutas need to be extra careful. The Widowmine will not get a good shot at all. Those are really trying to do their best, but they're gonna be surrounded by a lot of lanes. And DRG is getting some significant damage over here. The missile turret will go down in the end. And look at his lanes chasing down the SCVs. DRG might have overstepped. But Clem clearly doesn't really have a lot of stuff to defend with. And DRG is just basically buying himself time to get to the later stages of the game. The hive is in the making, lots of good upgrades just kicked in, and there's +2 air attack that is soon to come as well. Clem looking for a counter strike. Medivac sitting in different locations and a Thor defending the main bio bulk. DRG has safely replenished his own forces though. He might not have a lot of bane lanes, but on creep, these lanes will be a true menace to the bulkier units that Clem is sporting into his own army. Hive halfway through, Clem will decide against going for an aggressive on the left side. His Medivac is gonna be caught out in the open, but Clem is eating on the other side. While this is happening, Lurker Den is just getting started for DRG with the hive almost finished. 7 Hydras incoming, the Thors getting beautiful shots on top of these mutas. The Banelings not really getting to do much with the Widow Mines, stopping them from getting juicy connections. Lots of Banelings on the left side. Clem will decide it's time to go back. And he's waiting to be maxed out as well, and probably to eat on different locations. But DRG's defense so far has been absolutely perfect. Oh, these Widow Mines are posing to be kind of a trouble without an Overseer spotting them. That's really not much army with Clem. Actually, the mutas will get into the fight against the Thors. Everything is sent scattering for Clem. The reinforcements have come, and the Widow Mines will finally get some pretty decent shots. 48 linked in the making. The upgrades, as you can see on the side of DRG, are everything right now. Just needs to hold a minute or two, and so many good upgrades are about to kick in for the Zer player. 4 Thors to stop these mutas from getting too much damage, but the Lurk attack is up and running. No Lurkers yet on the field, but these Banelings are posing to be quite enough splash damage. The rest of the army of DRG is sent backwards. Probably this base will be cancelled, but DRG is scaling towards the end game with much better tech than his opponent. Clem relentlessly sending wave after wave of bio. Now 3 Lurkers are in the making. There's really not much to counter the siege potential that DRG is gonna have in his own army. Beautiful surround with the lanes. The Banelings were a little bit late to the party, but the mutas did post to have quite enough splash damage for the lanes to actually clear anything too strong. Adrenaline glands about to kick in, and you will see a huge increase in DPS from the get-go. 2 tanks are out for defense for Clem, but they're gonna be immediately picked up by these mutas. Now this location with the planter is not gonna be easy to siege into, but with 3 Lurkers right here on the rally point of Clem, DRG is looking strong to get the first victory in this best of 3 series. Of course, the mutas will try to get as much damage as possible onto the economy, while DRG is safely transitioning into a ranged attack based army. 16 SCVs have been killed by DRG, who again might have overstepped a little, to be completely honest. His army was nothing too crazy. Now his muta count is low, and his muta count would have been kind of important to especially clear the Medivacs. Without Thors, Clem is very happy to know that the muta count has been lowered significantly, and DRG can no longer snipe these Medivacs freely. But the tech up from DRG is something that sure scares DRG Clem quite a lot. The ghosts are incoming to try and drop those snipes onto the Lurkers before they get any big damage. Knight is network incoming from DRG to try and close out the game, but Clem is getting a lot of bases, he's getting his own tech, and oh my god, where is this happening? Oh wow, wait a minute. 12 drones fell by Clem's Widow Mines, and DRG doesn't really have a bank, so he needs to replace those drones, which is something you really don't want to do 15 minutes into a game. That's a lot of wasted larva, and it's something that can become quite a problem if Clem starts to get some kills onto those lurkers. They're gonna be a little bit harder to replace, even though with these high amount of archeries available to the Zerg player. These knights are hitting jackpot. As you can see, the lurkers are no longer safe, and it's gonna be a little bit harder for DRG to get these sneaky surrounds with the lurkers, with so many ghosts ready to drop snipe after snipe. 3 more incoming, but DRG, as you can see, is looking for a play into the main. Lurkers into the main, lurkers into the production. That's a lot of lurkers. Oh boy, and that's a huge choke point, which Clem clearly cannot walk into. The ghosts are dropping the snipes, but so many lurkers are incoming. And now the mutas as well on the top left. Clem will go for a counter strike and will get an archery for his own efforts. You can see these lurkers absolutely melting through the production of Clem. His army is melting as well. Only a couple ghosts and the Widow Mines have survived. This was definitely worth the effort for DRG. He may have lost a lot of lurkers with that. Oh my god, Widow Mines. But in the end, he's gonna be pretty happy to slow down the production of his opponent by this amount, while dropping more production of his own, and having a lot of larvae at the ready. Missile attack +1 is on the making for DRG, and that's gonna be pretty important for him to have available the next time his lurkers try to get a lot of damage done. Adrenal glands +3 lanes. They do kill stuff very quickly. Planetary Fortress are nothing that scares DRG, and this base is gonna go down before it's even started to get saturated. More lurkers incoming. DRG safely in control of his own side of the map. His creep spread is kind of terrible, to be completely honest, at this stage of the game with this much control on his own side. But in the end, he's gonna make up for it. A clever Nidus plays. It's a lot of Widow Mines you have to be careful about. His Wolof is not the strongest ever. Snipe after snipe after snipe after snipe. The lurkers are just getting annihilated. The ghosts killed 3 lurkers without anything Clem, the DRG could have done about it. But in the meanwhile, you can see DRG clearing 2 different locations at once with 21 SCV killed. Even losing a couple lurkers is nothing you're scared about, knowing it slow down the production of Clem by such a huge amount. 21 SCVs fallen actually, probably over here. Clem with a little bit of a Hail Mary on the left side. You don't want to get into a choke point. The ghosts are a little bit behind as well. So many snipes being dropped at once, and it's gonna be 3 dead lurkers, maybe even more. And the ghosts, they barely survive. Actually, I think it's 5 dead lurkers. More and more snipes incoming. Lurkers marching forward and ready to drop down in siege. The burrow is making short work of the army of Clem. The Nidus in the main will never see the light of day. But honestly, the desperation play for Clem already says a lot about this game. This left side of the map is truly important for both players, and DRG, even losing lurker after lurker, simply does not care. 30 lurkers have been killed, and Clem is still 50 supply behind. The economy of DRG too strong from the get-go. Clem needs a miracle. 7 more lurkers incoming, and the army of Clem is really not that great. Lots and lots of ghosts. But what can he do once the snipes ran out? Oh, snipes! So many lurkers dying. They don't really manage to kill enough ghosts. Only 1 actually falling. More and more shots are incoming from those stealthy boys, and the lurkers are just not managing. This is truly beautiful control on the side of Clem. Oh, he loses a couple ghosts over here. Sleeping a little bit, but even then, the true play again is revealed. And DRG marching forward over here, ready to send his lurkers forward. There's a huge choke point in which the army of Clem is gonna be absolutely melt. And you can see so much of his own stuff dying immediately. Meanwhile on the left, DRG hitting at the planetary and is gonna absolutely destroy it very quickly. Another Nidus in the main. Clem forced to have so much army in his own main to avoid these Niduses to go up, but 30 workers have been killed. The army of Clem is getting to a best spot and DRG gets game number 1. We're on Blackburn for the second game of this best of 3 here. In the bottom left hand corner, Team Liquid, the French Terran player, and it's 2 in a row. Make some noise for Clem. His opponent in the blue, currently at match point. After a dominant game 1 performance, he's looking to get 2 in a row. It is DRG, the man, the legend himself. And again, I'm super curious about the openers of those 2 players, because really both of them have so many aces up their sleeves. Like so many proxies, so many early spawning pools, so many good timing attacks. Both of them can really annihilate an opponent who's caught with their pants down. But for now, everything will be fairly standard. We don't see Clem going for any scary proxies. We don't see DRG going for any scary early pools. Honestly, the Reaper first is always a good choice in these scenarios, because Clem knows he needs to be careful. Also scouting with the SCV, just like he did in game number 1, just to make sure nothing crazy is happening. And probably DRG, knowing this is going to be the play from Clem, is going to go for that Clash opener once again. As you can see, no overload at 19 will mean one thing and one thing only. 27, third archery, and then drop down another overload. Clem confirming the timing is the standard one, and will go for an NGB block. This is interesting. I'm not super sure about this. DRG might just take the outer base. It's really not too much of a big deal. It's a little bit harder to defend, yes, especially if Clem wants to go for some aggressive drops. But DRG can do a lot of different things. Of course, DRG didn't wait. DRG is really not looking to drop down a third archery. He didn't even send the drone out. He doesn't even know. Oh, yeah, he knows. Oh, okay, he knows. Oh, the Queen's trying to march forward to get onto the NG bay. DRG really does not want to take this base. It doesn't feel like getting a little bit too vulnerable and playing defensive in the early game. It's still Reapers, which is already a weird thing. Clem really not super fast in his production. Both players kind of sleeping in some odd ways. That's a lair. At 325. Is this Nidus? I think it is. It definitely might be. And you may think, well, Clem is gonna have a lot of aliens. Nidus play can never really make this work. Like, DRG is desperately trying to look like he wants to take this space so much, but he really doesn't. Yes, 4 Vespene guys are taken. He has a lair almost finished before the 4:30 minute mark. With a bench incoming, Clem is gonna know that something weird incoming. But again, DRG is so desperate to try and look like he wants to take this base so much. And there's a Spire. It's not Nidus, it's Spire, but I guess. Oh, the aliens do get in. Did you see it? He didn't. He didn't. And also, if he doesn't click on it, this might look like a Spore Crawler or a Spine Crawler or whatever. He needs the Banshee. He needs the Banshee to actually confirm the information. Again, 6 aliens trying to make to the left side of the map. The 3 queens are trying to keep these aliens off of creep. And honestly, this is already a tell. That's not many queens, which is a little bit odd on the side of DRG. Of course, he didn't have the third archery to produce more queens. Oh, DRG was waiting for this. The Overlord's in so many good positions to scout this Banshee before he can get in. There's already an Overseer. Clem sees the Overseer. It's 520. Yeah, that stinks, right? That smells fishy. And Clem is going for a second Banshee with Mutas soon to come. A lot of resources being backed by Clem. Yeah, that's a clever game. Lots of resources saved by DRG, of course. That's a clever game from the Zerg player. That's a lot of Elbets, but the Queens, a little bit too stacked together, actually. They're gonna take some significant damage. They don't really have too much energy to drop those Transfuses. 80 Mutas, though, are just about to finish. And yeah, these Elbets are done for. And there's really no anti-air on the side of Clem. So many Elbets, Banshees, nothing that shoots up. And DRG says, yeah, alright. You can have some damage. I'm going for the kill. Here come the Mutas. Oh, they're going straight into the natural. Will that missile turret finish? Yeah, it probably will, but I mean, there's no missile turret in the... Oh, yeah, there's one missile turret in the main. There's one also over here. But Clem doesn't have army. He has 2 aliens and 3 marines? What does he have? He has nothing. This command center is going down before Clem can do anything to defend this. This might be game right here, right now. I don't think Clem has enough. Widowmine's trying to get in position, but they're way too far. Defending the ramp is nothing they can really do. The missile turret is gonna be destroyed by these lanes. The Widowmines get their shots onto something. But DRG is on top of the mineral line. He's on top of the production. These Mutas are not dying. The missile turrets are all the anti-air. The Clem is going on for him. This Medivac is so important. Will he go down? Oh my goodness. Widowmine's falling left and right. Oh man. Clem is holding, but ugh. He's taking so much damage. He's pinned on his own side. More Mutas are incoming. DRG dropping so much tech at once. +1 air attack is incoming, and now Clem is also supply blocked without being able to defend his supply depots. Everything is so exposed on the side of Clem, unable to take a third base as well. And now combat shields is the next thing that is going to be denied. But DRG, his orbital command trying to get into position with the Marines steaming out of base. +1 about to finish, more Mutas incoming, critical mass is right behind the corner. Oh, the Widowmine is gonna be sniped. The Medivac, one of the Medivacs at least, is not really healthy, the other one has a little bit of energy. DRG is taking the gold base. He has so many Mutas. Oh, Widowmine goes down. Yeah, these Mutas can easily fight the army of Clem and win. And you can see the army of Clem melting. It's time to go on top of the SCVs. The Orbiter Command is the next target. And this time, I don't think Clem can save it. The Lynx might be able on their own to shoo away the Marines, and DRG takes the series.